Hello, dear friends. What a blessing to be with you today. Here we are with another study of one of the articles of the Spiritist magazine. Welcome, welcome. Here we are with issue 59 of the Spiritist magazine. We have another issue. Therefore, there are 58 more issues for you and I to enjoy, to read, to learn from, to spread, to use it during our meetings at home, in our spiritist centers. No matter how we use these teachings, we have the ability to spread the good each and every day. Visit spiritistmagazine.org, and that's the main place for you to find the Spiritist magazine, all of the issues, the link to the app for your Google and Apple devices. You can just type in Spiritist magazine on your app stores and you'll be able to find all of it free of charge. These good spirits are so wonderful that they give us the opportunity to be here today together. So we are going to study an article from issue 59 titled Health Precepts. Who does not want to be healthy? Who wouldn't like to have our health improved? And Luiz, just as practical physician of our souls, is giving us very tactical, concise, direct ways for us to do so. I will share with you my screen. I make it very easy, so you can do this at home as well. So what you're seeing right now is the PDF version of issue 59. And issue 59, where am I? Here I am. Was just published on October 1st, 2020. This is the cover of issue 59. Beautiful image of Emmanuel. An article about his encounter with Paul the Apostle. All of the things you see browsing here on the left side are different articles that we will be discussing. So today we're going to navigate all the way down to Health Precepts by the Spirit under Luiz. So if you know yourself or someone else who is in need, you are in need of help managing your health, share, like, subscribe, tell them about Kardec Radio, tell them about the Spiritist magazine, tell them about your Spiritist center, and let's spread the good news, because whether we like it or not, the algorithm is very important. Having interaction with the content, spreading the content makes it more relevant, therefore it can help more people. So the spirit is under Luiz and the medium is Francisco Candido Xavier. And André Luiz tells us that he has 10 precepts. Make it very large so we can read it together. Maybe too large. All right. We'll go one precept at a time. There we go. Here we go. He says, number 1, keep your heart in peace ahead of all situations and all things. All the patrimonies of life belong to God. Wonderful teaching for the days we live. Natural disasters, wars, difficulties in different parts of the world with emotional difficulties, psychological difficulties. physical difficulties, right? Folks who are either wealthy and unhealthy, or some who experience severe poverty and famine. He's telling us keeping our hearts in peace, because everything that we have, all that happens to us, um, all that we have belongs to God. The things that happen to us because of our actions, because of the things we need to learn. And give us a little two teachings here. One is we need to learn to control our emotions, not to tame them, dominate them, but to control them, to understand what you're feeling, how things are affecting you, so you don't spread anxiety, despair with emotional contagions. That's the first one. Unfortunately, we don't teach this in schools, therefore we adults haven't learned, but it's always time. We should be teaching this to the young so they can manage that as well. As they grow and they're more malleable, it's easier to learn. That's the first teaching. Then the second is all patrimonies of life belong to God. So nothing that we have, even the resources I'm using right now, the microphone, the camera, the computer, all are concessions from God. God created everything that you see and the things you don't, because our eye is only limited. There's only so much. And sometimes we have to use devices to allow the eyes to see better. We only see a sliver of the spectrum. Then everything that we have is a concession from God. Everything belongs to God. Therefore, if needed be, it can be taken away at a whim. We saw this with our friends in Florida a week or so ago. This hurricane comes, your life goes. So we need to be thankful and mindful of everything that I have now, taking good care of what I have, needing less, giving up more, because everything belongs to God. Keeping peace of mind can be challenging, but we can train ourselves through meditation, psychological treatment, medical treatment if we need, yoga, meditation, exercise. There are many ways we can engage in practicing keeping our heart in peace. Of course, practicing the laws of God grant us the opportunity of making better decisions. So every time I'm about to say something, every time I feel something, every time I'm going to do something, I question myself. Say, does this align with the divine laws as we find in the Spirit's book? So that will help with the peace of heart, peace inside of heart. Sorry. Number 2, he says, rely on the duty strictly performed. There is no physical balance without spiritual harmony. So we are given opportunities to work on ourselves, to recalibrate, to evaluate, reattuned through the experiences we have. So we have a duty to perform. That's something inverted in today's society, where we see ourselves as entitled to enjoy, entitled to a lot of comfort, entitled to rest, enjoy. We have a duty. We came here on the earth not to be on vacation all the time. We came here to serve. And through the service and the opportunities and the possibilities around us, we will grow. So he's saying, if we're not spiritually harmonized with the duties we have, with where we live, where God's allowing us to be, with the folks around us, then there won't be physical balance. Therefore, there may be physical imbalance. So this is, remember, the title of the message is Health Precepts. To be healthy, we need to be spiritually harmonized. It says, cultivate the habit of prayer. Prayer is light in defense of body and soul. How many of us pray? Some days we pray more, some days we pray less. Do we pray before starting a meeting? Do we pray before eating? Do we pray before reading a message? Do we pray while driving? That we should be in this constant communication with God, with the superior spirits. Because prayer is light. Prayer can defend us from illness, can protect us, can delay. Because when you pray for yourself, for others, then you're making those spiritual alignments. Your vibratory field is different. You attract different people. You are able to better serve as well. He says, occupy your available time with fruitful work without forgetting the essential rest for a fair renovation. The suggestion of darkness come to us in the empty hour. What he's saying, fruitful work, the work we do as part of our careers and our profession, the work we do at the Spiritist Center, at the church, at community organizations. Of course, there's a need for rest. That's in the law of labor in the Spirit's book. But it's not eternal rest, where everything I do is for my enjoyment. I sit around, do nothing, write on my journal, which is important, but not the only thing to do. Fruitful work. Work or labor is any useful activity according to the spirits. So he's saying when we have these empty hours, when we are scrolling on social media, looking at houses when we're not gonna buy them, looking at social media when there's nothing better to do, when there's 30-second snaps of nothingness, that's when darkness can suggest us things. We can feel, and the research shows that the more we spend engaging on those apps, those types of relationships on social media, more depressed we are, more anxious we become. That doesn't mean you can triage and curate your experience to be beautiful, but it needs to be less, because the devices are designed to grab our attention and your brain is looking for that dopamine hit. But when we engage in fruitful work, when we are caring for our family members, when we do our work well, when we volunteer, when we pray, that's useful work, and there's less opportunities for the suggestions of darkness that will entice us to be jealous, to be envy, to feel like we're not worthy, to say, well, you do all this stuff for the Spiritist Center, nobody's coming, why would you go? That's a suggestion of darkness. Such a beautiful day, wouldn't you rather be at the park? Suggestions of darkness. Because there are millions of spirits discarnating every day, many, many more in the lower zones who would benefit from the messages we read, from the prayers we do, from the talks we attend at the Spiritist Center. So even though we may not see them, there's benefit. That's fruitful work. And then there's the temptations of busyness in this life, right? There's always study. The renewal of ideas favors the wise renewal of the organic cells. This is what we're doing here. We're studying. We're reading the message. There are 400 books of Chico Xavier. Nobody should say there's nothing to learn, because each and every book we can dissect with spending half an hour in one message. But we occupy our time with much less elevated ideas, so we should be making that effort to always learn something new, because this is wise renewal of ourselves. We are recreating ourselves each and every day. 6, avoid anger. To rage is to animalize yourself, falling into low-level shadows. When we have this anger, the bitterness is a poison to ourselves. That's a message that Manuel says in a different book, Calmness. He's saying avoid anger. And that's a training. You're not going to eliminate all anger tomorrow. You're going to feel enraged. You're going to feel those feelings. He's saying avoid it. First, start by recognizing it so you can triage. Is it useful? Is it helpful? Is it truthful? Why I'm feeling this way? Because we don't want to fall into lower level shadows or vibrations, because that's where we can have the suggestions of the darkness, or we are going to align with spirits that are not as elevated. In none of the books of Luiz, you see the mentors being angered. They become sad, they become disappointed, but they are not angry. They don't go enraging, attacking, and that's where we want to be. Now we do, because we're still learning. But those who are helping us, they can see us and can respect our free will. They can feel sad. See, that's a low level shadows that we want to rise above. And that's an exercise daily, just as you exercise the physical body daily. That's a daily exercise. Avoid slander. The agitated sludge hits whoever stirs it. How many of us love to talk about other people? I was having this conversation. I will make a pause and a parenthesis. I was having this conversation with our Spiritist Center lecture this Sunday. When we enter somewhere, do our eyes go to what's beautiful about it, or we immediately spot what's lacking? Yeah, that person did this. You see that talk? That wasn't that good. That's slander. When we bring things that are not true and goes in alignment with chapter 10 of the book Foreign Life, that says we need to seek the good, visualize the good, feel the good, and mold the good. That means not talking bad about other people or myself. You'll look in the mirror and see the potential, the divine gene, as Emmanuel says in the book Living Spring, educate inside of me, or do I go straight for the flaws? When I meet someone, I go straight to what they didn't do, or I'm engaging on that conversation, because sometimes we are the recipients of this slander. Then we need to be that container. We need to hold it, cement it close, and dig it. Dig a hole and put it there and not spread it. That's why he's saying. So again, it's something we need to work on each and every day. Number 8, he says, whenever possible, take long breaths and don't forget to take a daily shower, even if light. Pure air is precious food, and cleanliness is simple obligation. How many of us forget the physical? We are blessed with abundant resources here where I am in Richmond, where you are possibly. So we need to be clean, organized, take care of the things we have, take a shower, take longer breaths. When you do a long breath, which you've been breathing this entire time without being aware until I pointed it out, you can even count 4, 3, 2, 1. What you're doing is you are training yourself to feel present in the moment, neurologically. Because I'm a neuroscientist, I can tell you there's inbuilt systems in your brain that control breathing. Breathing is one of the few things you can do consciously or unconsciously. Right? You're breathing, going about. But long breaths allow you to use the parasympathetic nervous system. You can actually control the breath. You can override the autonomous part of it. And it lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, makes you more relaxed. That's already proven by science. So it's built inside of us that we can do this reset. You're agitated, you caught yourself with something that is bothersome. That's because we are conditioned, again, like I talked, there's a book by another neuroscientist, Anna Lemke, called Dopamination. Very enlightened. The days we have, especially with the resources. And it's going to sound inconsistent because I'm coming through to you through a social media, right? Either I'm on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. But we can curate the experience. Going about our day, doing, the illusion of busyness, the addiction to busyness. I'm doing, but there's nothing tangible. There's nothing useful in my doing. It's just checklist. So when you take a deep breath, it allows you to reset. You find yourself angry in traffic. You can breathe. The child is doing something that's pushing your buttons. Breath. You can send breathing love, send out love to them. You can reset and allow you to pray, reset and allow you to not say something on a fight and something that is not helpful to anybody. So he says, take long breaths, daily shower, pure air is precious food, take a walk in nature, go outside and breathe, not with the device and the earbuds and the phone calls, but look at the birds, look at the trees, look at the bugs. Nature is abound. The proofs of the Creator are everywhere. He says, eat little. The sensible creature eats to live, while the reckless creatures live to eat. So again, mindful eating. When we can pick up a plate and maybe put half. And after I eat, if I'm still hungry, I pick more instead of more. Especially here in the United States, as Americans, we eat too much. The portions are ginormous. Be more mindful. That goes hand in hand with Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk. But the truth is the same. The medium or where we get it is different. You are listening to me because you come for a Spiritist teachings. There will be billions on the earth who hear it from Buddhism. Thich Nhat Hanh says, mindful eating. Back again for a break. Eat little. How can you eat less? If all you do is eat, you will eat less because you're going to be breathing. You're going to be mindful of the fork or the spoon, depending which hand you use. You're going to chew the food slower. You're going to feel the texture of the food. You're going to swallow and see how it feels. It takes 20 minutes for the brain to send this, receive the signal of fullness. So we eat much more than we need. Take half an hour of lunch. The first 15 minutes, you put everything away. And all you do is eat. Breathe. Notice yourself. Notice the food. Pray that the spirits can fuse the food with nutrition. Pray that the food is easy on the body. That's one way to walk into practice towards eating little. Putting a smaller plate in front of you, less. And if we all eat less, there's more for others, right? And that's how the teachings align. In 10, he says, use patience and forgiveness tirelessly. All of us have been charitably tolerated by divine goodness millions of times. And to keep our hearts in the vinegar of intolerance is to provoke our own fall into useless death. He says patience and forgiveness. Someone's irritating you, patience and forgiveness. Someone hurt you, patience and forgiveness. He's saying we've been tolerated in a charitable way by divine goodness millions, probably billions of times since we were created. He says, keep our hearts in the vinegar of intolerance to provoke our own fall to useless death. Vinegar of intolerance. Vinegar is acidic. It's acid. Acid corrodes. Also, acid aids in digestion. If you don't know, when you chew the food, your stomach is producing acid to break down the particles. It's corrosive, it breaks down things. So he's saying, if we don't forgive, or if we're not patient, we keep our hearts in intolerance. Intolerance can lead us to useless death. That indirect suicide, right? When we eat too much, when we drink alcohol is a poison. It's a toxin, it's a poison to your body. Increases rate, it's a carcinogen, increases rates of cancer. Even for those who think socially drinking is okay. I know you're not gonna like me. Socially drinking is not okay. There are several articles in the Spiritist magazine showing that. Especially for Spiritist workers, because we're aligning with the lower level vibrations. And poisoning our physical body, which is a blessing. Therefore, shortening our lifespan, meaning we are going to be in this useless deaths sooner. So I wasn't able to fulfill my reincarnatory plan. But that's why God's giving us the beauty of Spiritism. It's important that we address those issues because we know better this lifetime. And when we know better in this lifetime, we can do better. Because where you're going to be in the afterlife is a consequence, is the result of the actions we do today. So we are learning, we are growing. Some days we do better, other days we don't, and we keep going. We keep committing to do better. And start with those 10 tenets that André Luiz are telling us about all the precepts. The source is the book Lessons of Life by André Luiz, chapter 12, of course, through our dear Francisco Candido Xavier. Dear friends, I urge you to go to spiritistmagazine.org. I'll put it up again here. To go download, read, donate if you can, share, download the app, the PDF, order the physical copy of the magazine. Let's see if I have one here. I keep one next to me so I can show it to you. This is the physical magazine. You can order one. It's at cost, meaning just the it will cost you as much as it costs to make the magazine. We don't make any money off of it. So it's a partnership between Spiritist Magazine and MagCloud. It's much beautiful. Extremely well done teachings. You can do that. You can, of course, write to the editor-in-chief, spiritistmagazine@gmail.com, if you have something you'd like to contribute, to have a talent, to like to volunteer. And there's also a contact form in the spiritistmagazine.org website. Dear friends, we come to the end of this program this week. God willing, we'll see you next week with another article. If you can stick around at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our dearest Carol Correa will come with another program to you, studying each and every one of the questions in the third part of the Spirit's book, Divine Laws. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you next